Welcome to another episode of CyberSafe News and Views. My name is Lee and I'll be your guide. In today's episode, Windows 10 is dead. Let's all bow our head and mourn. Do you still have a Windows PC that's running Windows 10? Upgrade now or pay or be out of compliance. More to come on that. And in the news, topics we're going to review this week: outdated internet-facing services and devices have been targeted and hacked in over 70 countries. Yes, professionals do this and still miss internet-facing devices. You can too. Macs being targeted. Oh no, I thought Macs were more secure. Not true. Not true. And Chinese hacking group has been spotted using Microsoft built-in applications to evade antivirus. That one gets a little bit deep, but it is still valid. If you're not running antivirus, you need to listen to this one. Let's get started.
Technology is an integral part of our lives. We use it every day, and it extends our access to information through things we can't even see. With technology surrounding us and growing at such a fast rate, knowledge of how to use this resource and stay safe in the meantime is imperative. Welcome to CyberSafe News and Views, where we answer questions and share information to keep you in the know and cybersafe.
All right, Windows 10 is nearing its end of life. I feel like I need to sound the bell. I need to ring the alarm. I need to just get people out there noticing October 14th of this year is the end of life for Windows 10. Now, what does that mean for you? What it means? No more security updates. So if you're mom and pop and you're using a personal device and you happen to be watching this webinar podcast, this podcast, YouTube video, is it the end of the world? No, but do you want the pictures of the grandkids encrypted? Do you want to lose access to your device? That's theoretically what could happen. And why? Not because of what you're doing, but because of what you haven't done. You haven't protected your device. Now, if you have any type of compliance regulation, PCI compliance, HIPAA, or something else, you must go to Windows 11. There is no choice. I say there is no choice. There is a small choice. If you choose to pay the monthly fee, the yearly fee to continue using Windows 10, you can do that. We'll talk about that more. But it's not a small fee, and it doubles every year you want to extend. So you're not going to get any technical support. You're not going to get any bug fixes, no security updates. Your hardware will eventually start to perform worse and worse. There's nothing you can do about it. So Windows 10 is ending. Sound the alarm, ring the bell. Let's get everyone on the same page, because you don't want to be replacing all of your devices suddenly in October, or worse yet, November and beyond, or to be hacked because you didn't do anything. So there's massive amounts of security risk, as I mentioned about this. If you're not updating, if you're not going to Windows 11, you're not getting these updates. You're not getting software compatibility updates. You're not getting performance and stability updates for your hardware. Just a list of things. So surmise it to say Windows 10 is going to go downhill. It's not going to perform well, and you're going to be on a severely security compromised platform. So let's not do this. Let's get off of these platforms. And again, as I mentioned, if you have any compliance issues, compliance regulations that you have to adhere to, absolutely. There's no way you can stay on this platform unpatched, unprotected. So there are a couple ways of moving forward. One, just upgrade. Now, the first thing you're probably going to tell me is, I can't upgrade because my hardware won't support it. And if you do enough searching out there, you're going to see, oh, Microsoft let me just update any PC to Windows 11. Don't. please stop before you brick your machine. And I'm not kidding. Microsoft at one point would let you update and just go willy-nilly and say, hey, I want to update my window, my Intel Core i5 Gen 2 to Windows 11. There's a reason they put in a limitation. Yes, they want you to buy more hardware. Yes, they want you to buy a new PC. Sorry, but there's also a limitation because they don't want you having a bad experience. If you update this severely old hardware, and I think it's anything Gen 8, Intel Gen 8 or newer is fine. But if it's older than that, and we're on Gen 14 now, so we're literally talking more than 6 years old. If your device is 6 years old and you run it for a business, please plan on replacing it or replace it. So you could update. If it doesn't meet the requirements to update, please don't. You're going to have continued and ongoing problems if it even updates at all. And then you're just be calling somebody names because you did it and now it doesn't work well. Now, there is a second option. You can pay for extended security updates. Now, typically, Microsoft only allows this for larger customers. And larger customers, think Fortune 5,000, not people that would be listening to this podcast, not the small businesses, not the small practices. You are not going to be in their realm. Now, they've made it available to consumers this year. So there's a fee if a consumer wants to do that. And there's a fee if a business owner wants to do that. It's not exactly, it's clear they're going to allow that for the smaller companies this year, it appears. But it's not free. It's $61 the first year. And then it doubles for year 2 and again for year 3. So it becomes very unpalatable. You're talking numbers that if you paid for the first 3 years, you could have went out and bought a PC. So you can pay for the extended security updates. Now, it's still not going to get you the platform specific updates, any bug fixes. It's only going to give you security updates. And that may not be enough. Definitely recommend option number 3 is that you replace your old hardware. If it doesn't support Windows 11 natively because it meets the requirements, let's get it off of your network. Let's replace it. Let's go out and get something that is newer. It's going to function better. And if you're, pardon me, still getting over a cold. If your business depends on this device, I mean, you're being negligent to depend on a device that's 6 years or old or older. So let's replace that. Let's get in with Windows 11 solid. It's close enough from a end user point of view. You can make it look very similar to Windows 10, and you're not going to have massive issues with it. So final thoughts on this, please don't wait to the last minute. Especially if you have any compliance regulations you have to adhere to, this is going to get ugly. Evaluate your current systems. Can they be updated? And if they can, update them. Update them today. Prioritize how you need to avoid risk with getting, how long can I keep these devices? And if you need support, seek informed IT guidance for upgrading, for replacing. If you want a recommendation, leave me a comment. I'll give you a recommendation. I don't sell devices. I give you recommendations from the big carriers, the Dells, the HPs, and in general, Amazon. So seek help and address this problem before it becomes absolutely critical and suddenly you're dealing with security compromised devices, and you're dealing with potentially a hack that's compromised your business data. How are you going to function? All right. Sorry, not trying to scare you, but this is coming. And there's no indication that Microsoft is going to back off of this either and just say, well, we'll give you another year. They did that on other versions in previous years, previous products. There's no indication that they're going to do that. They've set up the pricing. They've set up everything you need to know. I don't think they're going to extend this one. So let's get ahead of it. All right. In the news, outdated internet-facing services and devices have been targeted and hacked in over 70 countries. Now, this isn't just mom and pop, in their home internet-facing device. This is companies. These are people that are making a profit, people that have IT budgets, and yet their devices aren't patched, aren't up to date, and they're being targeted, they're being hacked, and they're being compromised. How? Well, if you don't keep your firmware up to date on your router and anything, if you're hosting a website, if you're from your own devices, if you're hosting email, I've seen people do that. I know everyone has cloud email nowadays. I've seen small businesses run their own email internally. If you're doing any of those things, you have to keep all of that up to date. If you don't, because it's internet facing, you are at risk. And these are companies, again, with a budget. And I say that purposefully because a lot of people that listen to my podcast don't have an IT budget for their business. They are just out there doing what they think is best. And it's a Comcast router, it's an AT&T router, it's Spectrum, whomever. That doesn't make it their obligation to keep it up to date. Now, some of these devices you're not going to have access to be able to update the firmware. And if you're running a small business, I suggest you either don't use that router, put your own in place that you can keep up to date, or you tap on Spectrum's support line and say, hey, is my firmware up to date? AT&T, etc. You need to make sure everything that's facing the internet is up to date, because there are constant security releases that will help you with this. And if not, you're going to become one of the 70 countries, or you'll be added to one of the clients, in one of those 70 countries. So don't think this can't happen to you. It can. Now, for those Mac lovers, I'm running a Mac. I'm recording on a Mac. I've got lots of Apple and Mac devices. You think you can't be targeted? Absolutely incorrect. There was a targeted event that put up in a browser. It looked like it was an update for the browser itself, so Safari or Chrome, and it would say, hey, if you want to access this website, you need to update. Looked completely real, looked very reasonable. So you say, oh, click the update. You don't click things that you don't know where they're from or where they're going. But it was a very realistic page. Looked like you clicked on it, and on a Mac device, hey, click on it, update. Be very, very careful what you click on. This was a good fake. Now, so don't think your Mac device is protected just because it's Mac. Those days are gone. All right. In our last article, a Chinese hacking group has been spotted using Microsoft built-in applications to evade antivirus. Let me give you the background on this one. A spear phishing event, if you're not familiar with what spear phishing is, it's a specific targeted event. Think of if you've ever seen a spear phishing person, they've got this spear. That's the reason it's called spear phishing. And they go into the water going for one particular fish. Okay. That's what this is. They're going for the C-level, the person that's in charge of accounting. They're going for, the person that owns the company, the whatever, the manager of the office. They send this targeting email looking real. You click on anything in the email and suddenly you've downloaded and installed a program. Now, there are programs out there that will stop the installation of this, but these folks didn't have it. It then, as it's started to run, it sees your antivirus and avoids it by using Microsoft built-in applications. These applications are valid. They're to run virtual machines on your local computer. But because you don't have, you're not stopping it before it's running, because you got spearphished, because you clicked on it, it's using these built-in, completely valid again, applications to avoid your antivirus and then get around it and use your computer resources to then either hack you, encrypt your information, offload your information, or use you in a botnet attack. So be very careful what you click on, what your email looks like, what you're going through, what you're actually, what you're trusting. If something is targeted to you and it looks fake, or it looks like it's, what do you mean I haven't paid the bill? Of course and you click on it, don't click out, go somewhere outside, go to a browser, go to the actual page of the person that you think is emailing you and validate what they're saying. Never trust, and I hate to say it, email, especially when they're trying to get you to click on something in the email. All right. That's the news for the week. So don't forget Windows 10 end of life in October 14th, 2025. And the news articles are basically always stay vigilant. I want to tell you about a webinar we have coming up. The webinar we have coming up is March 18th, 1 p.m. Passwords are dead. So if you are interested in that, go to CyberSafe newsandviews.com, and at the bottom you can sign up for our webinar, and you'll get lots of good information there, because I can tell you I don't use passwords anymore to sign into my devices. I have multi-factor, and you're going to get more information on that if you attend the webinar. If you found this information valuable today, please like, share, and subscribe, either here on YouTube, share with others, share on your social media. We really do appreciate all the feedback and all the attention. In today's world, cybersecurity is an obligation, especially if you run your own business or have protected information. If we can help you in any way, let us know. Leave us a comment. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.